I want someone who's going to be a role model as well as someone that my kids are going to love and look up to and have experiences with. And that I think is really important.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Leon with Au Pair in America, and I'm here with Shafiq. He is one of our host dads. Shafiq, can you introduce yourself and tell the good people a little bit about yourself?
My name is Shafiq. I am from Long Island originally. Now I live in Teaneck, New Jersey, Bergen County. I used to work in New York City, and now I'm pretty much from home most days. I have two beautiful children via surrogacy. Their names are Kara and Rafiq. Kara is 3 years old. Rafiq is 1 year old. It's been like a lifelong dream of mine to kind of have kids. You know, that's just kind of like a little bit of an intro.
That's perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
And you're a host dad with the Au Pair in America program. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you came to learn about Au Pair in America and what made it feel like a good fit for you and your sweet family?
Yeah, so to give you a little bit more background, I always kind of thought like, I've been using daycare probably for the last 2, 3 years. When I first, started the journey to have kids, I was by myself and then I had a partner. So there's a lot of changes in my life. I was in a relationship and we were raising our kids together. And unfortunately, things have changed in our relationship and my partner and I have split. Came to a point where it's one thing to have daycare and bring your kids 9 to 5, but I really needed someone who, was a second person who's part of the family, because my kids were used to a two-person household. And you need another, when you're raising kids and they're used to a two-person household, it kind of led me to this thing that I don't need a nanny. I didn't want that. I wanted someone who was going to be part of my family and who's going to help me, be there for the kids, who's going to learn what it's like to be a family. And it's definitely different because my family is different, right? I mean, I'm a gay man. I mean, I don't have a wife. I didn't have a previous wife in another life. It's definitely a different kind of situation. And it's definitely different, in the sense that because I do have my prior partner does come around and it's something different, but needing someone to be part of the family to help and be there for the kids. It was really important to go the Au Pair route, to have that second person who's part of our family and will probably be part of our family I understand Au Pairs can stay up to 2 years, but beyond that, I think my kids will, be attached and remember her and think about her for, as long as they can remember.
I love that.
So,
that's one of the things that we love about the Au Pair program is that long-lasting relationship that you form with this young person, even after they return home. And I love that you're using the word family. That is one of the best parts of the program is when that person feels like a real family member. On that topic, can you talk a little bit about how you welcomed your current au pair into your home and made her understand that that was your goal, for her to feel like a member of the family?
She has her own room. She has her own bathroom. Prior to her coming, just making sure she had everything that she was going to need. Everything is new bedding, new sheets, new this, all that to for the arrival, being there from prior to her coming. We matched. We had a lot of conversation, a lot of WhatsApp, a lot of this and that, and a lot of exchanges. Sharing family pictures and moments and all that. It was very quick. Our process probably took less than 2 months from match till she arrived here. Yeah, I think we started the match process in like September and she arrived in November. And one of the things that we really wanted was we wanted to get her here earlier because around November, we have a lot of family time. We wanted her to be here for Thanksgiving, which she was. We wanted her to be here for the holidays. So she got to experience, Thanksgiving with our family. And we have two different Thanksgivings in my circle. One is with all my friends. And then another one is with my immediate family, my mom and my sisters and brothers and stuff. So she got to be there for all of that. So she got to experience that. And then shortly after we had Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that, I think it was nice that she got to experience that. I mean, she was a little homesick,
Sure.
First Christmas not being with
Of
her
course.
family, but she was welcome into ours. And it was so funny. We actually, for Christmas, we went out and got the tree together, all of us, and put it up and decorated and the whole 9 yards. So I think it was really important that she was here to experience the holidays.
Yeah.
Because the summer is very different than winter and fall, and she's definitely getting to see the different things that go on, you know,
I love
and she's
that. It
also
sounds like you
adjusting.
welcomed her with
Yeah.
open arms. And I know the holidays are a huge reason that au pairs want to come and experience life in America. Along those same lines, can you talk about how you have balanced your needs as a family with childcare and your au pair's expectation for experiencing the US, for traveling, for having her own experiences as an exchange participant?
We actually keep a schedule, and we schedule hours, and then we have the actual schedule versus the actual hours work. So we kind of have it a give and take. So we may schedule 30, 40 hours a week, and then she might work only 35, or sometimes she'll work 42. And we manage that. We actually have like a little Google spreadsheet where we track the actual schedule, and we work on it together every week. She's also taken a couple of weekends off and traveled. She's been able to do
Mm.
that. She did go down to Florida. She's learning. I mean, that one of the things is being new to this country, understanding how travel works, and airlines, airports, and expenses, like, and going back to the whole cultural experience. We took a little family weekend trip to Washington, D.C., which was really awesome.
Gorgeous.
And it was a first time for her, being to our nation's capital. And she actually loved that trip. I mean, we stayed with a friend who had like multiple bedrooms in his house.
Mm.
So we were able to have a room for her and a room for us and the kids. And we were able to make that all work out. And while we were there, we were actually able to kind of like do good time separation. So she worked a little bit, and then she
Mm.
had free time. She actually met up with other au pairs that she found in DC, and she went and did a couple of things. We did some things as a family. We went to the National Mall, went to the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial. We did all of that together as a family on one day, on Friday, and like during the day. And then she was able to go out and meet people in DC Friday night. I stayed home with
Mm.
the kids, and that's how that worked. And then Saturday, she even went hiking, I believe, on Sunday with some of her friends that she met there. So, the au pair community, they meet up together and they connect. They have ways of finding each other all over the country. I had no idea there's lots of groups that they join, and they find each other and they exchange stories and stuff. But it is a pretty big community. And so
I have to say, I know you said this is your first au pair hosting experience, but it sounds like you are a pro at finding that balance between her time, your time, family time, traveling. So kudos to you. That's amazing.
the spreadsheets, I'm telling you, it's the spreadsheets. It's all very,
You heard it
very,
here
like,
first, everyone. The secret to hosting success is a spreadsheet. On the flip side of that, can you talk a little bit about something maybe that you've learned from her, whether it's culture or cooking or customs, language, traditions? What has she brought to your family from her home country?
Yeah, so she does make some arepas every now and then and leaves them for me, which are good. Not often, but sometimes she will. She does help, with language. Like I do want my kids to be bilingual, and she does,
Oh, great.
speak a little bit of Spanish to them. I mean, we speak English in the house and English with everyone else, but she does, instill that culture. My kids have become dancers because they watch Encanto so much,
A million
So,
parents can relate to this story.
yeah, I mean, but Encanto is the movie. I mean, they watch it together all the time, and my daughter like twirls her dress like Maribel does when she's dancing, and
I love
my
it.
son is always like bopping around, and that's because of the way she goes about things with them. So it's very cool. They're definitely getting some of that, and that's something I wanted to instill.
I love that. If
Yeah.
you're not listening
Mhm.
to We Don't Talk About Bruno at your house, or you even a
All
parent,
the time, all the time. I mean, all the time. So
love that. So if you were to meet someone who were a family that was thinking about hosting an au pair but hasn't taken that step yet, what would you tell them?
you have to be comfortable with having another person in your home. This is really important, and you really have to be able to provide them and treat them as a family member, because this is not a nanny. And au pair is not a nanny. They're not a babysitter. They're not like, you shouldn't even refer to them in that way. It's like, she's Jessica, and people don't understand it. They're like, oh, she doesn't clean. I'm like, no, she's not here to clean and to, take care of this and that. She's here to help me with my family and my kids. She's part of my family, and she's here to do things for the kids and also to experience the culture in this country. So A lot of people think that an au pair is like a glorified babysitter or something like this. They don't understand. You really have to understand that this person is there to help you raise your children and to do things related to your children. So, they're like, well, some of my friends like, why don't you just get a nanny? They'll cook and clean for you and this and that. I'm like, that's not what I want. I want someone who's going to be a role model as well as someone that my kids are going to love and look up to and have experiences with. And that I think is really important. As an au pair, you're part of the family, and there is definitely the ability for separation. When she's off
Sure.
and she's home, we've talked about it. She'll go in her room, she'll close the door. I've already taught, my daughter understands she's 3 years old. Jessica's off.
Right.
She needs
if
her
the door
time.
is closed, she needs some time.
Correct. And she gets it. I mean, and that's something that you have to understand. But, there's definitely been times where, she's been off or, just not scheduled to be working where, she will, if the kids are in the kitchen and I'm doing something and I'm home, but they need something, she'll help them, and that's what's different. This is a family member. This is not someone that is, providing a service in that regard, like a nanny is. Yeah, that's just not how this is, and that's important to know. And it's amazing to have someone in my life like that that's helping me and raise my kids and do stuff. So, yeah,
I love that. If I could bottle up your family energy, I would. Anything else you would like to share?
No, I think that's enough, Robin. I think that's good. I mean, if you guys have more questions.